Good morning and welcome back. Chapter 17 today. It's a short chapter, but listen up. It's also an odd-numbered chapter. Chapter 17. What happens now? Calder was home with a cold the following day, and Petra walked home from school by herself. It was early December, and patches of ice alternated with drifts of brown leaves. Petra scuffed along, thinking about Charles Fort. He wouldn't be feeling discouraged. He would have his eyes wide open. With that in mind, she picked up a scrap of graph paper off the ground and read, corn oil, butter, tea bags, onions, green grapes, bacon. She popped it into her pocket. Was there poetry here, in an accidental combination of words? Would Fort have seen an interesting pattern or a secret of the universe in this grocery list? Hey, this might be something to get Miss Hussey into Miss Hussey with one day. There's your picture. Hello. Do you see any pentominoes or any frogs or any tarantulas or pterodactyls? All right, there's one in there. You probably have to look at your book because this picture is not great. Brandon, what did you see? Oh, very interesting, very interesting. Kylie? Okay, cool, Kylie. Good. Ethan, what did you see today? Oh, very nice, interesting, cool. Accidental combinations of sounds and words. Why did some words seem more elegant, more graceful than others? Why were some words peanut butter and jelly sounds and others caviar sounds? What made the words onion or tea bag so plain? Why did a word like ice or exquisite sound so lacy? Inspired by the idea, Petra stopped by another piece of paper. It was tucked into a thorny hedge near Miss Sharp's house and torn along the bottom. Folded into 4 parts, it looked worn. She opened it carefully and began to read. Dear friend, I would like your help in identifying a crime that is now centuries old. Petra ran straight to Calder's house. Did anyone see you pick it up? I looked around, but only one person was crossing the street. Calder blew his nose vigorously. Do you think it's the same letter you started to read, the one that blew away? It could be. But maybe there's a 4th letter, Petra groaned. Calder reached for his pentominoes. It's creepy to think of someone sticking the letter carefully in Miss Sharp's bushes. Do we tell the police? It'll make it harder for us to keep looking. Good thinking. But neither one of us should walk around here on our own. We could end up like that frog kid. They refolded the letter, placed it neatly inside a sandwich bag, and tucked it into the geographer's box. They each ate a blue one. They each ate 2 more. Calder was holding the P for pentomino. P for prey? He said, trying to grin. Petra looked horrified. Prey? She said. Us? You mean we're being hunted? Those are good homophones. Pray and pray. Homonyms? Homonyms. Petra looked horrified. Oh, no, sorry. No, I meant pray as in hoping to stay safe, said Calder. Oh, maybe it's pray we're not prey, Petra added, scaring them both. The next day, more news broke. A book appeared in stores that morning called The Vermeer Dilemma. What Happens Now? Easily, it was a $50 art book, but it was being sold for the unusually affordable price of $1.50. This was less than the price of a Big Mac. An anonymous gift had made it possible for everyone with interest in Vermeer and in this painful situation to buy the book. Written by a respected art historian, it included excellent colored plate of every painting attributed to Vermeer. Thousands of copies changed hands across the United States on the first day, and countries around the world reported similar sales. The book was all about the positive things that had come out of the terrible crime. People were looking at it and talking about paintings as they never had before. They were comparing furniture, tile work, the structure of lead glass windows, the folds in a satin skirt. They were comparing details like the way light struck a fingernail or a wrist bone. They looked the look of a woven basket handle or the curl of hair. They were examining works of art with a toughness and intensity usually seen only in buyers of new cars or electronics. Groups of people pointing and arguing energetically in front of Vermeer had become a common sight. Museums were busier and livelier places. It was the first time that many untrained people had felt that they could say something of value about a work of art, something that might make a difference. It was the first time that many people had realized how murky and unchangeable the waters of history can be. When an artist leaves behind no personal papers, when hundreds of years go by, who is to say that the followers or forgers didn't use his name to make some money? And of course, the idea of correcting centuries-old mistakes, of pointing out that the experts in museums and universities weren't really as expert as they thought they were, was irresistible. Children were thinking about Vermeer too. They were comparing writing and visiting museums with friends. Many said that they hadn't realized how cool old pictures could be. They also hadn't realized that the art in museums can be mysterious, and grown-ups don't always know what it means or where it came from. The author talked about how the uproar was probably also good for art historians and museum curators. It was forcing them to question views that had been accepted for decades, to look carefully at what had been taught. Was the thief right? Was the public right? Why didn't the so-called early or late Vermeers have that luminous, haunting touch? The book ended by stating firmly that while what the thief had done to get the attention of the art world was wrong, the public's relationship to Vermeer and to other great masters as a result had changed dramatically. People around the world had developed a comfort with great art that they had never before. The theft was a gift. The last page carried a message to the thief. Whether or not museums chose to change the labels next to some Vermeer paintings, the public had done an amazing job of spotlighting any possible fraud. Everyone was now looking. It was only a matter of time, the author suggested, before museums would respond to the public's thinking. In the meantime, a lady writing should be returned. The thief could consider his mission to have been successful. All right, so that's an interesting thing to think about. Crime is bad, right? Stealing is bad, right? Good. Don't steal things. Can something good come from something bad? Just think about it, and then talk about it. Have a great day. Good job on your map scores, by the way. Good job on your map.